It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight we start Week 9 with a prime-time matchup between our visitors and the Chicago Cougars. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? Taken at the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. So out comes the offense now with a long field ahead of them. And they will be led out by their signal caller in his second year in the NFL now.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A 3rd down gain of 19.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
They'll run on 1st down. Blackwell. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Blackwell. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd down, Blackwell. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing, right? And everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
On 1st down, Blackwell. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it's going to be third down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And his kick is indeed good, and the opening drive of the game yields 3. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
I love today's NFL because it is high-flying, big-time action, some risk involved. But how about him eliminating all that last week? 3 touchdown passes, incredible yardage.
Yeah, almost 400.
Big-time game.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The numbers for him from a week ago. And you figure that he'll probably be a big factor in this one as well.
No question about it, partner. We just saw it right there. They want to get him the ball in space and see what he can do after the catch.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. Again, he'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
This guy's proven himself to be one of the best in the NFL. He brings an added dimension to their offense with his ability to read defenses and know when he's able to pull it down and take off and go.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Aftershocks are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first quarter lead. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Now the extra point. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. This fielded right at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And he will take this down to the 10-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Now on 4th down, out comes the field goal unit here. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And his kick here is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to...
He rifles one that's intercepted. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
And, partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's going to be marked down short of the 1st down, right around the 17. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On fourth down, they'll try and run for it. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. They come up short here on fourth down. And as a result, possession switches hands. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he is going to lose yardage here. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
Now he dumps this off over the middle. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
They'll run on first down. Blackwell. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain. Second down. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's our home team with possession as they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. They'll keep it on the ground. Blackwell. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
First down, Blackwell. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. Blackwell. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Holding, offense.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. And on now is the punter. as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have some...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. When I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it. And the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here.
12 yards as they get to reset the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Nichols. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. 2nd and 9 now. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Defense.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Up the middle they go. Blackwell. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. 2nd and 4. This is caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Cougars are an extra point away from evening this one up.
There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And we are even at 10 apiece. They'll drive that time of 6 plays. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago.
Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll drop to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. 2 yards is the pickup, and that'll be good enough for the first.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Two first downs have him up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Schmidt. Second and 5. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
A nightmare of a first half for him, and that's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense.
And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long.
They'll set up to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
They bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave.
He'll decide to keep this once more.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. And they kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it. But in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy, the powerful guy with leg drive. Give him the football, and even if the blocking isn't perfect, he has the ability to scatter bodies.
And it's caught. Touchdown. A great effort there. 30 yards. And his guys are going to take the lead.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that as he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 17-10 score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Chicago offense set to get started. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Now a man open down the middle of the field. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. They'll look to throw again. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. And they'll send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for Chicago. And he's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. This is taken at about the 14. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Some great games still to come. And I think we highlighted one of the better ones right there, as they'll have to contend with the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. Plenty to like about the late afternoon games as well. As you see by the highlight, these guys are in for a battle, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, should be a good one there, between the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams. We'll move on now to check out the next-gen stats in that 1st half for our home team. And they've had some success on the ground. And with the lead going into the 2nd half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's got to be wondering what happened in that 1st half. 3 interceptions, very uncharacteristic.
And even the great ones go through phases like this, like what we just saw. And most of them, they have such a mental capacity to throw it out and essentially start over. I think that's where he's headed now.
He's got his opportunity to throw it out. Let's see how he does. No gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
Holding, offense.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. They're going to look to throw. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So they bring out their punter, standing just outside his own goal line. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7, and out will come the offense as they take over. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Now back to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They'll look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown. A big play there. 50 yards. And the Aftershocks have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season, is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead now up to 14. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Looking to throw. And he'll just get rid of it.
Already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Back to throw here. He's got a man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
And that one hurts defensively. They force him into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. Over the middle, it's complete.
And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Back to throw again. And he's got his man in stride, complete.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. They'll run on 1st down. Blackwell. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 24-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. Blackwell. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Down at the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 4.
On 3rd down. Blackwell. And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
They'll set up a throw. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete.
Complete to number 84. 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Now a handoff up the middle. Blackwell. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Touchdown! From 8 yards out. And the Cougars have cut it back within a score.
All drives that result in points hurt a defense, but when they are the sustained variety, play after play, and they just can't get off the field and stop them, that can be demoralizing.
Point after here coming up. He's got it, and it's 24-17. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This taken in at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Got a man and he hits him in stride. A gain of 8 there on the play, and it'll be second and a couple. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Wide open receiver complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That third down conversion good for 23.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Can't get away, and he's taken down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on a sack. That time, Charles, great job keeping him in the pocket and not letting him escape.
And, Brandon, I think this was a great example of the front and the back working together, meaning the back covering, no place to go with the football. And the front, terrific job on the edge so he couldn't escape outside. And then, of course, the inside pressure kept him hemmed in as well.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. 43 yards. And the Aftershocks are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. The long drive last time out for this offense, Charles, if you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And he can't escape, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
A gain of 4 brings up 3rd and 13.
He's going to air one out. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield.
Well, there were about 70,000 that were quickly calling for that flag. It comes out there for pass interference.
And what do you think, partner? A little sarcasm in that cheering from this crowd here tonight. What they're hoping now is to build a little momentum off of it and give them a more genuine reason to cheer down the road.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score, because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Oh, how about this on 1st and goal? And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. And that's a loss of 7 on the 1st down play.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
A gain of 7 yards. It's now 3rd and goal.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him.
Oh, man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Now there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Working with a 2nd and 3. Here's a give up the middle. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2nd and 11. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Back to throw now on first down. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will remain an 11-point spread. Charles, all things considered, I guess that's not a critical miss at this stage, is it?
No, but still everything helps when you're trying to finish off a ball game. And you're right, not critical in terms of the scoreboard and the team, but the guy with the golden foot, he knows he's only as good as his last kick.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Their defense was able to hold serve, albeit with a little help from that missed field goal as they settle in now 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Blackwell. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 76 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 7. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
4 yards on the pickup.
On 2nd down, Blackwell. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll keep it on the ground. Blackwell.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal. He'll look to throw. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Cougars have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
And this is caught. So they took a chance, but they aren't back within a single point here in the 4th. Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet and said, go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return.
Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
Well, they can smell victory, partner. They can see it on the horizon, but certainly we're not done yet here. Defense still has 3 timeouts, and obviously this is a very slim lead they're holding on to.
And let's face it, the easiest way to get this done, challenge your ground game. Challenge your offensive line, your tight ends, your receivers, anyone who's going to lay down a block. Don't let there be penetration because they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and maybe bring extra people to the ball. If you can do that, make them burn their timeouts, run out the clock, life will be good. But if you really want to gamble a little bit, a quick play action, quick throw, might be able to get it done. Just make sure it's not incomplete and stop the clock.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 77 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors, and it was a game where they got out to a pretty good size lead, and then they had to hang on for dear life at the end.
Not exactly how you would draw it up. You would continue to score and find ways to keep your lead pretty well throughout the game. But they did find a way to win, as you noted. Hung on at the end as the big rush came at them. Fortunately enough, they put enough points on the board to have enough of a cushion that they're able to survive what happened in the 4th quarter.
So for our visitors, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Baltimore Ravens come to town.